Live from the WTXL studios, this is ABC 27's News at Noon.
The death of Samira Frash will be put front and center when the case goes before a Leon County grand jury tomorrow. Thanks for joining us here on the News at Noon. I'm Kelly Bartoli. The French model was found dead in her home's swimming pool over 3 months ago, and not many details have been released since. Just this week, though, her estate filed a wrongful death lawsuit against her estranged husband, Adam Frash. According to our media partners at the Tallahassee Democrat, Frash has officially been confirmed as a suspect. Chief Assistant State Attorney Georgia Kappelman told the Democrat that indictments may not come tomorrow since the prosecution's presentation to the grand jury could need 2 parts. Now, here's what we do know about this case. In February, a maintenance man found Samira Frash's body just a few hours after Adam Frash was seen leaving their home. Later that day, Adam was arrested while in Panama City with the couple's 2 daughters. The couple's attorney said that they had been going through a divorce, but also claims they were reconciling. Adam Frash now remains in the Leon County Jail after he violated the terms of his pretrial release on charges that he interfered with child custody orders. He is also under investigation by the federal government for Medicare fraud regarding his Thomasville podiatry practice. He says his wife gave him permission to take the children and that when he left her home, she was alive. Meanwhile, Tallahassee police still have no leads and are asking for any information about a shooting near Holton Street. Officers were dispatched to the area around 8:30 Tuesday evening after that shooting was reported. TPD tells us 2 people were taken to the hospital. Their names, though, not being released at this time. Police are still investigating the case, and if you have any information, call TPD. That number is 891-4331, or call Crime Stoppers at 574-TIPS. Other news today, construction along Gain Street in Tallahassee now in phase 3 of the improvement project. If you're trying to drive straight through Gain Street between Railroad and Stadium Lake Bradford, you will be detoured. Drivers have to go north to Pensacola or west to St. Augustine. The area is still open for access to businesses and homes there. Now, construction will last until August, finishing up just before the fall semester begins. This week, you can expect to see small islands installed for the roundabout, and 1 more storm drain will be added. Now, that will cause a temporary water outage for some businesses, but the city will notify anyone who might be impacted. We should know by the end of the month whether or not legislators broke the law when drawing up new political maps. Closing arguments in the 12-day trial wrapped up yesterday. Prosecutors say Florida legislators violated a 2010 amendment by drawing political maps designed to help Republicans in the 2012 elections. Legislative leaders, though, have denied any wrongdoing. The South Georgia banker who faked his own death is expected to plead guilty today. Aubrey Lee Price is charged with bank fraud in Georgia, securities and wire fraud in New York. And just last week, the state of Florida charged him with making false distress calls to the U.S. Coast Guard. Now, that was for the time and resources spent searching for him. Wendy Cross is one of more than 100 investors who say their life savings is now gone, all because of Aubrey Lee Price. Price was originally set to go to trial June 23rd. Prosecutors, though, say that he plans to admit to all the charges against him. And Georgia will spend more than $107 million making its new standardized test. It'll replace the CRCT and EOCT exams for elementary and high schoolers. Students will take the new Georgia Milestone test this upcoming school year. State officials say it will help students better compete with other states. 12:04 now, time to get a check of our weather. We have Max Paris sitting in the Weather Center. Max, it seems like it is just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Every time I look at the clock, it seems to go up a degree.
We've spiked very fast out there, that's for sure. But before we move on to the weather, I gotta say, my favorite part of school, those standardized testing. Oh, that was just the best. For sure. That's a little bit of sarcasm, though. Not really the biggest fan of that. But you may or may not be a big fan of this weather, though, because it's pretty consistent with what we've had the last couple of days. Already in Tallahassee, 88 degrees. Valdosta breaking the 90-degree mark. And the humidity, well, that's on the rise. The dew point causing me to see that it's getting a little bit more uncomfortable out there. And we're going to continue to track that going into the afternoon. It's going to be hot, hazy, and humid, the 3 H's, as we like to say, going into the afternoon hours. But for the most part, Titan radar will be dry, so no natural air conditioning from Mother Nature, no thunderstorms going to blossom on up for the most part. Here's what you can expect over the next couple of hours as we go into the afternoon. Temperatures soaring back into the low and mid 90s. Valdosta, you will probably supersede this, get into the upper 90s even. You're always a little bit hotter than everyone else around the Big Bend in South Georgia. But you can see 1 or 2 rogue showers can't be ruled out, mainly farther north into South Georgia, closer to Albany. But as we go into later on tonight, we will see those temperatures start to crawl back down, but not so much. We'll only be falling back into the upper 60s tonight. And these aren't even the hottest numbers I have in the forecast, unfortunately, Kelly. We have more hot stuff to talk about and increased rain chances as well, and that's going to fall right on your weekend. I'll let you know who's going to be impacted by the rain and by all the hot stuff coming up in your full forecast. Kelly?
All right, thanks, Max. Today, now we're focusing on news out of Florida State University. FSU's student body held an open forum last night to talk about the university's ongoing search for a new president. The event was aimed at getting students and the entire community involved in the search. This after officials announced they would lengthen the application period for those wanting to apply for that top spot. The student body president says it's important for everyone to play a role in selecting the next head of the school.
So the goal with these open forums, and this is the second one that I've hosted in relation to the presidential search, is just to provide an opportunity for particularly students to come out and express their opinions on what direction the university should go in the search process, what they look for in a next university president.
Now, FSU currently has 3 high-profile candidates in the running for the presidency. State Senator John Thrasher and Representative Michelle Raywinkle-Vasalinda have both submitted their resumes. Florida's Chief Justice Ricky Polston put in his application over the weekend. We now have the results of a conduct hearing by Florida State University related to the December 2012 incident when quarterback Jameis Winston was accused of sexual assault. Defensive back Ronald Darby and defensive end Chris Kasher have not been expelled or suspended from the football team. This follows an investigation into charges they violated the school's code of conduct. The players were originally accused of conduct of a sexual nature that created an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment for another person and acts that invade privacy of another person. Well, check out this video of Jameis Winston throwing and catching his own Hail Mary. The quarterback posted the video on Instagram showing himself catching the 2 passes that he threw across the team's practice field yesterday. The caption reads, "Did it once for the fans, twice for the haters. LMAO." Well, still to come on the news at noon, reports of a new Kardashian hitting the web will tell you which sibling might be expecting again. Plus, one Nebraska dealership owner now suffering one heck of a blow. What happened to cause millions in damages? Plus, a military jet crashes in California. We've got video from a witness. It's all on the way. Stay with us.